places in the world that I have zero hesitation to travel to. And Japan is one of them. If you're on the fence of visiting Japan, even a week in Tokyo will convince you why I feel this way. Maybe it's just the atmosphere, or how everything's busy, but not at the same time. The way that trains go, or people walk back and forth throughout the city. The fact that even if you do go to Tokyo, there's so much scenery and so much more to see. A lot of culture and tradition everywhere. That might be a good or bad thing, but still pretty nice. But one of the things to know is that Japan is basically the mecca of card games. You have to understand that Japan has spawned pretty much every popular trading card game and a lot of unpopular ones that you know of. Of course, there's Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Vanguard, White Schwartz, Duel Masters, Buddy Fight. The list goes on and on. So when I went to Japan early this month with a certain travel companion in Yomi, I was super excited just to visit for a second time. I stayed in a few different cities last time, but this time is going to be only in Tokyo. But of course, being in Japan, we had to go straight to the source, and that means going to Bandai headquarters. So we decided to sneak in and just take a look at all the things that they had to offer. Pretty much all of the cards from One Piece, Dragon Ball, which they have the crazy Xenoverse Heroes thing going on. Cool game, probably would never play it. Of course, Union Arena, all of it's really cool to see up on display and in the public. And of course, if you're there for card games, you have to go to the one place that has it all, which is Akihabara. Apart from the crazy amount of anime, manga, the gacha machines, pachinko, you basically cannot go a block, and this might apply to Tokyo and Japan as well, without hitting a card game store. One of the ones that I went to was kind of like a hole in the wall, literally. If you go up this tiny elevator and you go out, it is this very small card game shop, which is probably the same thing for a lot of other card game shops. They had Fusion World and a bunch of other stuff like Digimon, Vanguard, stuff like that. We ended up buying a bunch of singles just so we can have a Japanese deck and play in the Card Fest Nationals. Another card shop was twice its size and basically had everything with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And other rare cards. And if you keep going far enough, you will actually run into one of the card game shops that ended up having a lot of familiar faces. No surprise, of course, with One Piece and Card Fest and Worlds and the champions, everyone getting together, that we see so many familiar faces. It's actually really interesting because if you go down these steps and you go into this room, it somehow holds almost 80 people, I think. I don't know how they do it. One of the other places that I ended up was the official Bandai Stadium. Basically, below it and above it has all this merchandise for Bandai products. The stadium itself was a place for locals and for players to play, basically. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but I did post that I ended up sitting down against a Broly player with my non-built, no 6-drop 1718 and as well as no 4-drop Vegeta Gohan deck, and ended up just whopping the floor with him. And I only say that because I think he called me a foreigner. Anyway, the space is really cool. It is nice to visit. And if you haven't been there when you do visit Japan or Akihabara, make sure to do that. And speaking of One Piece, if you haven't checked out all these other smaller shops of One Piece, you should, because there are, again, in the official Bandai area, which, by the way, Bandai is huge. They have a candy shop, they have a movie, like pictures production, they have endless gacha machines everywhere. But anyway, one of the areas in that area for the official Bandai, like Namco, whatever area, they do have one of the One Piece play areas, like the official areas. I think this is more akin to some of the ones that they're putting out in North America, but this one's pretty cool to see anyway. Taking a break from all that, we did also go to Tokyo Tower. And if you haven't seen the podcast, or Monolith Played podcast on the Eggman's channel, you should go check that out too. Honestly, you know, within the week that I stayed there, I mean, I did a lot, and there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and it doesn't even include Card Fest, which, you know, playing in the Fusion World, matching, going 5-0 and watching the finals, things like that. That could be a whole other video. But honestly, you know, at the end of the day, I really just wanted to make sure that I enjoyed myself and not really focused on getting the shots that I wanted and doing the video and stuff like that. I wanted to even do challenges to build a deck from all these other card shops, but one piece is very expensive. Even in Japan, it is pretty expensive, and since I can't even use the Japan or Japanese cards when I get back to the States, I mean, there's no point of spending $200 anyway. So didn't really want to do that. But overall, you know, again, I wanted to enjoy my time, and as well as food and things like that. I think this video is just really me talking about Japan and missing it already. So if you did end up going to Japan anytime, you know, if you're from there, if you live there, or if you just visited and you really liked it, or if you really didn't like it, let me know in the comments below. If you guys do want to see another video about all the Card Fest stuff and, you know, me talking about that, I'm happy to do that. But that's only if you guys actually show interest in it, and if anybody even watches this video, because obviously this is not like directly card game stuff or deck profile or whatever. Maybe like 100 likes. If I get 100 likes, I'll make another video and do the Card Fest stuff. But for now, I want to move on to other things. So I'll see you in the next one.